Right, boys, we got Aqeel here. This is episode 7, and I'm just gonna start off simple. Like, just tell them who you are.
Cool. My name's Aqeel. Basically, I've got a 6-figure marketing agency that started at about 18 years old in uni. So I've managed to scale that to something full time. So just basically it took me a while to build it up, but now that to be fair, it's been about 4 years that I've been working on it. Started in uni because I actually went into software engineering.
Right.
So I thought, everything's going tech and AI and stuff like that. So see if I can get some coding in.
I remember you making websites for a bit as well.
I was making websites for a bit. That's how my business started, to be fair. I was doing websites, bit of Shopify and stuff like that, e-commerce and just general service websites. And then basically it evolved into what it is now by accident, because all of my clients, we would do a really nice website for them, look really nice, take a bit of time, and then they still had the same problem of, businesses need customers at the end of the day. They were just in the same problem where they just couldn't get any more customers, and they're still looking for solutions of how do they actually grow it. And their first step is usually a website. But if I'm being very honest, for most businesses, or service-based businesses anyway, a website doesn't do too much. I mean, if there's no traffic going to it,
it's pointless, really, isn't it?
It's like opening a shop on a dead-end street. There's no one going to it. It's not going to do anything. So zero return on investment from a website. And I feel like a lot of people getting into business and stuff like that, they spend way too much time on websites and online presence, which is important. It's important to have something there so you can get found, but I don't think you should spend too much time on it. I think you should get basic stuff up there and then launch and then iterate as you go, evolve as you go.
It's kind of like lead generation, essentially, what you do to it.
Exactly, yeah. So we switch from just web design and being like a design agency to more actually generating leads and getting people closer to sales. And we fell into property, so all of our clients are actually property businesses. So they do property investment. A lot of them, basically, let's say you've got some cash in the bank and you want to invest in property, but you don't really have the time to do it yourself. You can approach them and they'll basically source it, manage the project and stuff like that, and then they take a fee for doing that. So they need property deals and they also need investors. So one thing that I think, and I'm going to sort of tailor this conversation to people who are starting in business, because that's all I can really speak on is my experience, because I've started it and I've been at the beginning, and where people go wrong easily and stuff like that, I like to help people out. What we ended up doing was focusing on how to actually get them customers. So rather than just saying, I want to be, I think this is a way to think about any business. Like, if you're going to start a business, whether it's a side hustle or whatever, you need to not think about yourself. Like, obviously everyone's in business to make money and a profit. That's a fact. But I think if you focus too much on making money, you can miss the fact that business is about the customer. If you can get a customer result, like, for example, in my case, getting a business leads, which leads to sales, or in your case, tuning a car, on getting people a result that they're happy with, seeing the smile on their face when they rev the engine up. That's a result. If you didn't do that, then you wouldn't have customers, or you wouldn't have repeat customers or referrals. So it all starts with getting a result, getting a positive result for the customer. In a service-based business, and I think a product-based business as well, if they don't have a positive experience with using your product, then they're not going to
customer satisfaction, would you say, is a massive thing?
Yeah, I think the money comes after you've solved a problem. So I think anyone can start a business. If you're thinking about starting a business, think about how to solve a problem. And I think that's quite a common thing, like people say, but people don't actually follow that. They just think, I'll do a business that everyone else does, and they forget that actually you've got to iterate, you've got to improve, and actually think about the customer, because that's the only way like a business would would really, get out there.
Okay.
Or you commoditize yourself. Like, for example, if I just did a regular lead generation agency and called myself just a Facebook ads agency, I have to compete on price, and it's a race to the bottom. It's just a commodity. Anybody can do Facebook ads.
Right.
You can find someone on Fiverr to do it for like, I don't know, 50 quid a month or something like that. But I've got a result for a specific type of person, and I can package that in a way where I can basically charge what I want. Right. Not obviously ridiculously.
Not ripping them off.
They're paying for the value that they're getting, because I've proven hundreds of times. Like, we've got 27 5-star reviews now. I've proven a lot of times that I can get a result for a specific type of business, and I was only able to do that and get that reputation where now we get a lot of referrals by helping one specific type of person and actually getting them a very good result.
So you essentially just found your niche and you've absolutely hammered it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right. Okay.
And I can confidently say, because of that for what we do in property, we are the best in the UK at it. Okay. And I think you should aim for that with any business.
Yeah.
Like,
you want to stand
do
out
something that works. Like, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to invent a product that's never existed. Find something that already works, but do it better, faster, cheaper if you want to. But that's very hard to do. Yeah. But you've got to be different in some way or another. You can't just copy something else and expect it to work perfectly. But yeah, that's what I've done essentially. I've just iterated on what other people have already done. I've not reinvented the wheel, but I've just done it long enough for my specific type of customer to build up my reputation, where now I've got a steady stream of word of mouth and referrals and stuff like that. So I think it's definitely better to be a specialist than a generalist in anything that you do, because you can just command more money, authority, credibility, everything. I think it all stems from that, and then branch out if you want to. But I think starting as a specialist is always beneficial.
So do you just do it for proper people in the property business?
Just property.
You just focus on that entirely?
Entirely, yeah. So we work with obviously property investors and property sources, like I mentioned before. But now we're able to say things like, we got a property investor 5 deals, 25% below market value. What that means is basically, let's say a house is worth 100 grand, they're securing it for £25,000 below that, like 85 grand for example, which is a very high return on investment for themselves or for an investor, if they flip it or whatever they do with it. And to be fair, I landed in property because I thought, well, what do I really want to do? I sort of reverse engineered my ideal business. So, and I think everyone should do that. I think if you want to start a business, don't just start something because it's popular or it's trending or something like that. I think you should look at how you want your life to be. Like, for example, this is just a mad random example, but like, let's say you want to be a boxer. Take that to the extreme in your head, obviously. Think about, okay, what does my life look like as a boxer? What do I have to do on a day-to-day basis? Or what do I want my life to look like on a day-to-day basis? So I sort of reverse engineered that for myself. So with boxing, that comes with fame, it comes with being in the public eye, stuff like that. With what I do, I picked this because it allows me to have time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom, basically. I can do what I do anywhere in the world, and it's allowed me to travel quite a bit. Which is what I reverse engineered it to do that, if that makes sense. So I pick what I do to have the lifestyle that I have because that's what I wanted myself.
So you looked at what you define as your versions of success.
Yes, exactly.
And how you're going to get
everyone's version of success is very different, I believe.
Not everyone wants the fame.
I mean,
like, sometimes
there's nothing wrong with that. You want to be famous.
Don't want a lot of money either. They just want the comfortability of just being able to live life as they want to. Yeah,
absolutely. You know what? I've spoken to some people. I had an experience where I worked with another agency owner. So someone who owns a digital marketing agency like me, and they do 2 million a year in revenue. Right. So I was on the inside of this business, and I'm speaking to their leads and stuff like that, people who want marketing, and these are very successful business owners, and they're doing 150 to 200 grand a month in revenue, and they're struggling, they've got problems, they want to learn how to scale it. And I'm speaking to these people and I'm thinking, they don't know more than I know. Like, they're not special.
Yeah.
There's nothing, like, I don't know, coming from my background, I've not had, you know, the best upbringing in terms of, you know, council house when I was a kid. Not the you know, most in terms of money.
Anything.
Yeah, I'm not going to say we were in poverty or anything like that, because we weren't. We've always had a roof over our head, but you know, times haven't been great. And when you're not exposed to money like, you know, 10 grand a month, 100 grand a month, it sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
But then you speak to these people and you realise, oh, you know, they're making this amount of money, but that's just normal. That's actually quite small in business. You know, it's not actually a lot of money.
Right.
I mean, I think they consider anything under $1 million in revenue a small business, which is mad when you think about it.
That's ridiculous.
But it just puts it into perspective. There are people who own these businesses, and they're not any more special than, you know, me and you or anyone else. But what they've done is they've basically got into a market, differentiated themselves, and they've done it long enough to make a name for themselves. And that is the key to success, I think, in business. Just get into a market and do it long enough to not go out of business.
Right, okay.
That's basically it.
I mean, it's every day you're just trying to keep yourself afloat, essentially, aren't you?
Yeah, that's it. You just keep. The game of business is like, you can't win it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless you get a big exit and sell it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't win it. Same way you don't win like fitness. You always have to do it.
The goal's always
marriage.
changing.
You're always working on it. You know, your religion, whatever it is. There's no end goal. There's no finish line. You just have to keep playing the game.
So what would you say up to date now is like the most struggle you've had in the business?
Struggle
in the sense of something that you thought, I don't know how I'm going to bounce back from this, but you did.
That's a good question, to be honest. I've had quite a few moments like that, to be fair. Quite early on, I think when you're starting any business, because you're starting a business yourself, the flaws of that business, or you know, whatever it is you're doing, is you.
Okay.
If you're limited in terms of the time you can put into it, that restraint is your problem, really, isn't it?
Okay.
It's not like there's a problem with the business until you hire people and you've got team members and stuff like that. It's all you. You're wearing all the hats. You know, sales, marketing, all the functions of a business. You've got to do that.
Okay.
So the flaws are all you. So I think early on, the flaw was that, you know, I had to work a part-time job, uni at the same time, you know, balancing fitness, relationships, family, all of that. It's not easy to balance and build something that can, you know, sort of replace a full-time income or something like that, especially with uni. So I think early on that was the main challenge. It's sacrificing almost every single spare hour to build something that will allow me to get that time back, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I think the time sacrifice was the first one. The second was poor decisions in investments. Okay. So I made an investment decision to grow the business. So it wasn't really a silly it wasn't a silly idea. In theory, it was a very good investment, but it didn't play out how I wanted it to, out of my control. And then I had to bounce back from that in terms of, okay, at the time, I didn't make a lot of money, and it was a lot of money, that investment. It was in the thousands. And then that didn't work out. And I've essentially got scammed out of that money. Okay. And then, that's happened. Nothing I can do about it. We've got to bounce back and just keep going. And other than that, there's been plenty of times where I think, okay, I'm struggling. At the beginning, you know, I didn't have people reaching out to me wanting to work with me. Right. I had to do that. I had to do the outreach. I had to, you know, get the business, find the clients, which was cold calling. Okay. Cold calling was probably the hardest thing I've ever done. And almost every day, I think I was like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. Just because it's a very grueling process. Yeah. But you just have to stick through it, honestly, and I think I'm very glad that I did stick through it. And that's it, really. It's just getting through it. Almost every week I'd be like, you know what am I doing this for? Sometimes, very early on, I was working, honest to God, like 60 hours a week.
Right.
Including everything that I've got going on.
Yeah.
60 hours a week, and some weeks it was like there's absolutely nothing to show for all this work.
Yeah.
And then you start to question it, and you doubt yourself. But
it's in those hours that really make the most progress.
In that moment, it feels like, I just want to quit now. Why am I doing this to myself when I could just get, a comfortable job and just stay there and not build something for myself? And that thought you will battle with, almost every day. Yeah. But it's pushing through that, because I don't know. They say, like, if you want to live an extraordinary life, you have to be extraordinary. Yeah. You can't be like every other ordinary person. You can't live an average life. You got to be out of your comfort zone. So I think it's just recognizing that and understanding that this will pass. Like, it will get better. But you will always have doubt. Even at this point in my business, I still have doubt about certain things and certain business decisions, but the barrier just moves and it keeps getting, bigger and bigger.
But I think that doubt is beneficial because it keeps you always working, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get comfortable, you get complacent, you're gonna start making silly mistakes.
Yeah.
You could lose it all.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. Doubt existing is not a bad. It's like stress.
Yeah.
Just because stress exists or you have stress, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
If you think about it. I mean, in the gym, if you put stress on your muscles, it tears, but then it grows back stronger.
Yeah.
So you have to have these things. These things always exist. There's not a single business or, job even that doesn't carry some sort of stress. It's essential to life. I think for men anyway, it's essential to have some level of stress. Otherwise, that's how people fall into depression and certain different, mental health problems. I think as men, we need like something to work on and a goal.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point. So then, on the flip side, what's like one achievement you've had where you look back on it and you think, you know what, all this time, all this work, having it amounted to this one achievement, it was worth it?
It's a difficult one.
It doesn't have to necessarily be
I wouldn't say it's like, when I got into business out of desperation. Like, I was working a job, it wasn't enough. I knew I didn't want to go into my degree and get a job there, because I know that road's not gonna, there's no progression really. In my industry, you become a software engineer, senior software engineer, team leader, but that has a cap. And I always knew that I didn't want to be capped. I wanted to, outgrow that. So I always had certain monetary values as a goal. And I'll be real, to be really, really honest, hitting those goals made me feel absolutely nothing. I felt absolutely nothing. Like, I've been just as happy with £100 in my bank account compared to, the figures that I've reached that were my goals, if that makes sense. I've been just as happy, just as sad. It doesn't change anything. It changes nothing. And people who have made it, millionaires, billionaires, they tell you that, but you don't know until you've experienced it. So I think the biggest achievement I have till this day is time and location freedom. Financial freedom, it didn't do anything. Like, not having to, report to a boss or be anywhere at a specific time or work at a specific time. That's great, but it's nothing like being able to spend the time with my family and go and be where I want when I want. So having that freedom, I think, is my biggest achievement. Like, if I want to just during the day pop down to my mum's, I can. Or if I need to take a family member to the hospital, I can. That to me is my biggest achievement. The monetary values, the materialistic things, does nothing, honestly.
Which is a very fair achievement. I think it's probably one of the more, selfless things to say as well. Because if anything, you just now bought back your time. I think it's
selfish.
You think it's selfish?
Absolutely, because even though, like, I could put value on all these materialistic things, I don't. But that is a selfish thing to me, because that makes me feel fulfilled. Like, providing for my family and doing what I need to do, having this freedom, having achieved what I have achieved, I still feel that it's very selfish.
Okay.
But I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's a very, very good thing.
Yeah.
I think people should be selfish. In order to achieve any goal, you have to be selfish. You know, if you wanna be an athlete, or you wanna, run a clothing brand or something like that, you have to be selfish with your time in order to achieve that goal.
100%.
And then the people that benefit from you, yes, that's great. But I did it for me and my family selfishly, and I think that's absolutely fine. And there's not a problem with that. And I don't think there's a problem with wanting to, do a business or anything really for money. Like if you want to do it to make money or to become famous, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Or to achieve certain materialistic things, that's great. But just know that it's not going to change who you are or how you feel deep down. In fact, sometimes it just makes you feel worse, because you think, oh, I've got all these things and I've done all this, I've achieved all these things, but it's not changed anything. So I think if you go into it with that mindset, and rather than thinking about those things, think about how can I serve others, and how can I save my family, and how can I be someone of value to the people around me, you'll be a lot more fulfilled than trying to chase like monetary values or materialistic things. But I'll be honest, and I don't want to like sound like I'm on a high horse or anything like that. I did it for that reason to begin with. But then you realise, that's not what it's about.
I think most people do start like that. Wanting
absolutely,
gains and wanting the things that, because I mean with guys, they probably look, as kids, you look at these people on TV, you look at the nice cars and the money, and you just think, I want that, whatever I can do to get that, I want that. I think as you get older and as you go through life, especially when you go through your late teens, early 20s, you start to realise there's bigger things out there that you definitely value a lot more than just having the nice car or having the nice watch.
100%. You just never stops. Like you just want the next thing and the next thing. Whenever you do get something that maybe you've got on a pedestal, you might have a goal that you want a specific car or a specific watch, but I guarantee you, if you have that car or that watch for a week or 2 weeks,
you'll be looking for the next one.
But it starts to become normal. It's like, oh, that's just my watch that I put on, and you, not intentionally, but you do start to just not appreciate it as much. And that's human nature. You look for the next thing. So that's why I think you just shouldn't put it on too much of a high pedestal. But absolutely, if you want to work hard for a car, do it. But just don't think that it's going to make you happier. It's a
good point. It's a very good point.
Deep chat.
No, it's good. It's good.
Right,
So obviously you've, like I said before, you've been married for 2 years. You said obviously balancing time, balancing a marriage is similar to a business. You're always working on it. You're the first guest I've had on who is married.
Right. Okay.
So how would you say it's been navigating through a marriage and the business at the same time?
That's a good question. I think it's about your partner, innit? It's about having a supportive partner, because it is a sacrifice. Like I do need to go and work, 8 hours a day usually. So it's like I have the freedom to do what I want, but I still need to have the discipline to say I need to go and do what I need to do right now. And it's just having a partner that understands that. Like she's been with me since the start anyway, before I had the business. So she knows what I've had to sacrifice to get us to this stage, and she's just happy for me to take that role on. She understands what it takes in terms of a sacrifice to get us where we needed to be. So I mean, I can't take the credit and be like, I've done this and that to make it work while being married. She's just understood from early on that it's going to take sacrifice from both of us to make it work. So it's just support from her really. That's about it.
So would you say it's beneficial to have, because as women tend to be, they are kind of like a support system for men. Would you say that's a beneficial support system to have?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think there's people who think, oh well, I want to establish myself first, like get a job, get a good salary, or build that business or do XYZ before they get married. But I believe, studies even show that people who are married, they've got a deeper why. Like it's not just for yourself. You're doing it for the person that relies on you. You know what I mean? Even with people that have kids, that's like 3 times more.
Yeah.
Because you're not just doing it for yourself. There's no choice really. It's like it's for your family. So I think having that, it's more of a push than anything else.
Yeah.
So I think it's very beneficial to have that support system, because you're not in it alone either. Because business and entrepreneurship and stuff like that, it is a very lonely path.
Okay.
Because you're in it by yourself. You struggle with the downs, the ups, everything. So to have that person who is there to support you, who understands the journey you're going on, and what the end goal is, 100% that's beneficial.
Yes. I've had a few of my friends who had on here, they've said the same thing that you said before, of they want to establish themselves before that.
Yeah.
Before they settle down. And I've always had the same argument with it, because you never really know someone's true intentions.
Yeah.
But once you've established yourself and then find somebody, I'll always think I probably would find it hard to trust that.
I was gonna say,
because when you've built something and someone's watched you build it from the start, they've been with you when you've had nothing.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Like my missus, she's been with me, since I had nothing.
Yeah, so she's seen you with nothing and seen you build something and entirely, so she can probably appreciate it.
She appreciates
almost to the same level you might.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're
and
right.
probably a bit more, because that is what provides for her as well.
Yeah, exactly.
When you've established yourself, let's say for example, if you got married next year, you might not necessarily come out right and say it, but you might have it in the back of your mind thinking,
no, I've thought about that a few times. I mean, when you get to a certain level in any business or whatever, or you get to a certain level of success, it does become hard to trust. Are people just looking at you for the money, or to gain something from you? You will have that thought in your mind with anyone that you come across, really. So I think it does become a lot harder the more successful you are to find genuine connections and relationships with people. So I think the fact that I was lucky enough to find someone who stuck with me through the lowest of lows to now give them the highest of highs, that's fulfilling to me as well. And I know she appreciates it, and she's not here to gain anything from it. She never has given any bad vibes. But I think it just comes down to the person that you're with, their values, what they're like, and their intentions. I think it's a case by case thing, really. But
it is. It's dependent on the person,
and again,
as well.
Well, you might plan to get married before getting established, and it doesn't happen. And then it happens when you are more established, and that's just the way your life plans out. We can't really plan these things too much. But I think I was lucky enough, alhamdulillah, to get married when I got married. Pretty young. I'm only 24. I got married when I was 22.
Okay.
So and then if I'm being really honest with you, a lot of, I would say, blessings have come into my life since that point. The business has done really well since then. Everything's gone up. So positive ROI so far.
My dad's always saying that all the time. Obviously, because I'm the eldest. And we've had this conversation quite a lot, and he always gives the example of himself. Of when he first came to England, and he got married to my mum. He wasn't in a good state, but once he got married, the blessing in his life increased to a point where it surprised him. And he didn't realise it. And I feel like that's the reason, especially as Muslims, we tend to overlook. Because a lot of us, I've got a lot of friends who were all in that mindset of, I can't afford, to get married, and I can't afford to provide for my wife. And but sometimes if you do just go get married, I mean, God will bless you in a way you probably won't ever expect.
To be really honest, like, I'll give you my example. 2 years ago when I got married, 2022. See, I started the business. 2024 I got married. I started the business in 2022.
Okay.
And at that time I was still in uni. I was still working part time. And I was thinking, because we wanted to get married at that point, how am I going to actually provide for her properly? So that was one thing. And then as soon as we got things sorted, that year is actually when the business took off. So right after we got married, that's when it started to really pick up. Because I've been doing it for 4 years, but it's only really been, I would say, successful in my thinking for the last 2 years.
Okay.
So yeah, it happened after marriage, to be honest with you. So I can only say that yeah, it did definitely help. And I have a few business friends. Well, one of them has 4 kids and is the same age as me, married and 4 kids. And he did it a lot younger than me getting married. I think he got married at 18.
Right.
And he said it forces you to make the business work. It quite literally forces you to use every minute that you've got to get your family into a better position. Because he's got kids that wake up at, you know, odd hours in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, they're jumping on you and stuff like that. He has to be up before them.
Mm-hmm.
He has to be using all of his time properly. Otherwise, the business would, you know, crash and burn. So it forces you to actually get things done properly, which is why I think it's just discipline, isn't it? I think it forces you to have more discipline than you would, you know, without being in that situation.
So what would you say you value more as a trait? Would you say being disciplined or motivated?
Discipline, 100%.
Yeah?
Motivation doesn't last.
Yeah, it's a wavering feeling.
Absolutely, it's very wavering. I don't feel motivated most of the time, if I'm honest with you.
Okay.
I'm not like a high energy person. I'm not actually that present on social media, even though my business is very social media relevant, which is ironic.
Yeah.
I'm just not that out there and energetic.
Yeah.
I'm, you know, more chilled and laid back.
Mm-hmm.
So the high energy content doesn't really suit me, which is why I don't do any of it, which is why I like your podcast style.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think forgot what I was going to say then.
We're talking motivation and discipline.
Yeah, motivation. So motivation is very fleeting. You don't often feel motivated. If you do something for long enough, you will lose all motivation.
Okay.
I think it's only discipline that keeps you going. So you don't need motivation at all whatsoever. It's just discipline, and the way you form discipline is, I think, just habits. You need to change your habits, because I believe that on your worst days you'll fall back on the standards that you set for yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like if your standard, for my standard is to do at least 1% on my business,
Okay.
so to progress the business at least 1% every single day. That's my absolute baseline standard, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So I will always do that, because that's what I've programmed myself to do. And I think that starts with identity.
Okay.
I heavily believe, and I tell everyone around me, that if you want to do something, you need to act like that person. Like let's say, for example, here's my goal. I want to take my business into the US market.
Okay.
And I want to go from the best in the UK to the best in the US.
Okay.
Now, to do that, I need to act like someone who's doing that actively.
So embody their traits.
Embody them. Like, if you want to be a boxer or a pro boxer, you've got to live like a boxer. You know, it's a lifestyle. You've got to adopt that lifestyle and live like the person, you know, who makes that. But before like for example, when I was making, I'll use monetary values just to give it as clear a picture as possible. When I was making £1,000 a month, I was living like someone who makes £1,000 a month.
Okay.
My actions match that. When I made £10,000 a month, I had to be the person who makes that amount of money. Do you know what I mean? To be a 6-figure business owner, I need to act like a 6-figure business owner.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that since I wasn't a 6-figure business owner.
Okay.
And to get to 7, I then need to do the same thing.
Right.
I need to adopt the lifestyle, habits and actions of a 7-figure business owner in order to achieve that. But I believe it starts now.
Okay.
And it's like, the most simple example for that is, how do you fall asleep?
Okay.
In order to fall asleep, you must first close your eyes and kind of pretend that you're asleep.
Right.
So you've got to adopt the action, do the action, and then it will happen.
Right, I've never heard that. No, that's a good analogy, to be fair.
How do you like it?
That's very good. So what would you say are some of the traits that you embodied as a, let's just say, for example, before you're making 6 figures, or what you plan to for 7 figures? What would you say are some of the traits or characteristics that you should be acting like?
I don't think it's not as much traits and characteristics. I think it's skills.
Okay.
I think all of those things are skills. Like, for example, if I was to say that I am a patient person,
Okay.
I have to break that down into what actually does a patient person do. a patient person, when tested with something that might make them frustrated or angry, doesn't do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if I do that time and time and time again, I can say that I'm a patient person because I've proven it when put in the position.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So I think all characteristics are skills that can be worked on and improved. So in terms of the characteristics that I think have benefited me the most, I think it's just discipline and doing hard things.
Okay.
Like doing the hard things that you don't want to do. I just do that first.
Right.
I don't want to cold call. I don't want to do 100 cold calls to grow my business. That's the first thing I'm doing in the day. Get it out of the way. 4 hours, and then you can focus on other things. But yeah, I think being willing to put yourself out of your comfort zone is the number one skill.
Right.
It's not even a skill really. You just put yourself in an uncomfortable position. Like naturally, I'm an introvert.
Okay.
Naturally, like I would say back in high school, college, I couldn't do public speaking.
Yeah, to be fair, for as long as I've known you, which has been a while.
Yeah.
The first time I met you was, I think I was 13. You were my cousin.
Yeah.
And even then you were quite quiet.
I was very quiet.
You were very quiet.
I was very reserved, very quiet.
Yeah.
An introvert. Yeah.
And then when I found out you were doing these type of business, it kind of surprised me.
I am still that person.
Yeah.
But I understand that in order to achieve the goals that I want to achieve, I need to put myself in a certain situation. Like, I don't know if you saw my Instagram, I did a talk in front of I think 30 property business owners, and to do that was way out of my comfort zone.
Okay.
But I acted like someone who had no problem with that. I embodied someone that this is what I do.
Okay.
I do that because it grows my business, so I need to just be comfortable doing that, and in order to do that I need to do it even though I'm uncomfortable. So yeah, it was almost faking the confidence until the confidence appeared. You just have to do something in order to do it. I don't believe in the word try either.
Okay.
Like I don't think you can try to do anything. Either you did it or you didn't do it.
Okay.
If I told you to try, you probably heard this online somewhere. If I told you to try pick this up off the floor, you can't try to do it. You either pick it up or you don't pick it up.
Yeah.
And whether that's in your favour or not in your favour, the fact of the matter is still true.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So I think you just have to just do. If you want to do something, it might sound really simple, just do it. Or do the actions that lead to it. If that makes sense.
You say it's simple, but there's a lot of people who, and I'm victim to it, you probably are as well. You sometimes just don't do it.
I think everyone knows what they need to do. Like
it's just
everyone knows.
Lazy. We get people just get you just fall into the comfortability of just
100%.
It
starts from school. Like you know, right? You need to revise for an exam.
Yeah.
But do we all leave it to last minute? 100%.
Yeah.
Same with like coursework, exams, whatever it is. You just wait and wait and wait. You procrastinate.
Yeah.
And I think procrastination is really, really bad.
Yeah.
It's very bad. I think it's very difficult to deal with, and I'm someone that still struggles with it. Bear in mind. But I think just being as proactive as possible is always better. Like if there was one thing that I could pass on to other people, my children, whatever, it's to deal with problems as soon as they arise.
Okay.
Deal with things as soon as they arise, and just be a doer rather than a
I'll deal with it later.
Yeah. Try not to be in analysis paralysis. Do it. If it doesn't work, do something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
So overthinking is not something you tend to fall into.
Oh yeah, all the time. But I think it's something I proactively work on.
Right. You're controlling it.
Yeah. No, I'm just conscious of it. I'm conscious of it, and I try to stop myself from doing it. So if I recognise that I'm procrastinating or I'm maybe overthinking, overanalyzing a certain decision, I will just tell myself, right, let's just do it, find out what happens, and then try something else. Another thing that I'm a very big advocate of, investing in yourself. People our age, younger than us as well, they're always looking for, what can I do to make a bit of extra money? What should I invest in? This and that. I get asked all the time. What would you invest in right now? This and that. Crypto. Invest in skills. Invest in a skill, because, like, for example, the part-time job I had before my business, allowed me to quit in 2020. 2024, I quit my job. Was sales.
Right.
So I was working at AO doing electrical appliance sales. Basically, I was selling fridges and TVs and all that. I chose that job because I knew it would help me with my end goal of growing my business. Because for my business, I sell on a Zoom call.
Okay.
So I speak to people on a Zoom call. I have about 3 to 4 meetings a day. Sometimes 6, sometimes I get more. But I'm selling face to face on a Zoom call.
Okay.
So that very high volume calls, place an order, try an objection handle, stuff like that. I knew I needed that in order to improve. So I went and got a sales job.
Okay. So even the part-time job, apart from giving you money,
even that was
added more value to you as well.
Yeah, that was intentional towards my end goal.
Okay. Okay. That is good. I feel like a lot of people miss that opportunity. Because a lot of people do just try to get a part-time job just for the sake of.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Do anything you can,
if you've got the chance to.
If you've got the chance to pick a job that will actually help you get what you want to get, do that. But I would just say, and then I say this to families as well, if you're gonna supplement yourself with income to build a business, use as much of that as you can to build a business. Use the time you've got. Let's say, for example, you have to work a 9 to 5, then your 5 to 9 after that, use that towards building the business. Or before you start work, don't expect it to happen.
Time management essentially is what you need to be on top of, really.
I think it's just a lot of sacrifice. You have to sacrifice a lot of time. That's another thing that I think couples with motivation. Like, it's the discipline to not sit in bed and scroll at night. Because you got to wake up early to work on the business. The discipline to stop binge watching that show. Not the next episode. Because it's very easy. We all do it. We all fall into these things with social media. It's just having the discipline to think about your goal again, and then start working on that instead. Or even replace it with something that's beneficial. Like, instead of watching Netflix, for example, I used to just watch loads of podcasts. Like, for example, when I was working part-time, there was actually a period before I started my business, before I had the part-time job, where I was living in Manchester city centre, because I was going uni there, and I would do Deliveroo on a bicycle. Right, but that whole time on the bicycle, I was listening to business podcasts. Because I had that goal of I want to start a business. So I think no matter what you do and what you are doing, just keep your goal in mind, and that's how it works. And I think more than just having a goal, like I said, the important thing is to break it down into steps. I reverse engineer everything. Like, for example, before I launch a new product or an offer for my clients, or the new people that I'm working with, I will reverse engineer how many. I'll just use cold calls, for example. I know that if I cold call 100 people, I'll get 11 people booked in for a meeting. And out of those 11 people that are booked, so that's an 11% booking rate. Right? So I know out of those 11 people, I will maybe close 2. Actually, you know what? Let me make the numbers simpler. Out of 100 people, let's say I get 10. I get 10 booked in, and out of those I get 2. Right? So then I can extrapolate that. So if I do 100 cold calls a day, I'm booking 10 meetings for the week, and I'm closing 2 of them. So then I'll extrapolate that over the month and say I need to do X amount of cold calls minimum to achieve my goal of 10 clients in that month, if that makes sense. So I know now, right, in order to achieve that goal, I've got to do the work. And I know what the work is. The work is I've got to make those calls, because that's what's going to get me my goal. And in business, I think I would call it the money generating activities. It's very easy to be like stuck on changing my website or colours and branding, logos and stuff like that. It really doesn't make the money.
I feel like especially in your business, especially 100%. It's not something that people are bothered by. They're not going to look at your website and think, oh, that colour's nice, I'm going to go for him. You're going to look at the results more than anything else. I think that's the difference where me with clothes, I don't think I look at it in the sense of a business. I enjoy designing. I enjoy fashion. But then that's why I have the tuning as well, because that's not, I enjoy it the same way. But because it's a service and it's something that I can offer up to people where they might have, let's just say for example, there's not many mobile tuners.
Yeah.
So I looked at that and I thought I will be the mobile tuner.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of what I said before.
If you find the gap or the problem that you're dealing with yourself, just become it.
That's it. That's exactly it.
Both of those things, I feel like what keeps me going, both of them is they're both things that I'm completely and utterly obsessed with.
One thing that I think you've done very well is you chose something that you can stick with.
Yeah.
Like, I know you've been doing the clothing business for a while now.
Yeah, a good while.
So that's the main thing I'd say for people. Even, you know, I've helped people start and give them ideas for businesses before. I've seen them start it and then go, oh well, I've seen people on TikTok or Instagram doing this, I'm going to try this.
Yeah.
And they get easily distracted by, you know, the next shiny object, if that makes sense. And it's very important to understand that you will never be successful if you keep switching what you're doing. You'll never make it work.
You have to stick at it. You have to stick at something.
And that again comes down to discipline.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to be disciplined enough to say, I'll give you an example. I've been approached a few times now to partner up with people to like scale up a business and go into a partnership. And I've said no, because I know ultimately that's going to take me away from my end goal.
Okay.
So you have to have the discipline to know, you know, that it's a long term thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I knew that. To be fair, actually, I said to myself, because I was so fed up with what I was doing, I'm going to give it 6 months.
Okay.
And if it's not going anywhere in 6 months, then I might do something different.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, 6 months, it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
It didn't, but I didn't give up. And then, like I said, 2 years down the line, then it got to a place where I could, you know, quit my job.
Okay.
But yeah, it wasn't an easy road to get there. I just had to stay focused and disciplined enough to, you know, I think almost reject other things and accept the fact that there is loads of other things you could do to make money, especially once you've built a skill in a specific industry. It would be so easy to just switch to something else. But then people fail to realize that every single business has its ups and downs, and it's like, I know in my industry now what all the skeletons are. I know where the dead bodies are. Okay. I know what's hard about building an agency. I don't know what's hard about building a clothing brand. Yeah. The stock, the inventory, all of that stuff. So to switch to that, being ignorant of those challenges, right now it would present a harder challenge than it actually is. So it is actually just better to keep doing what I'm doing. Yeah. So you have to analyze things like that, and the bigger you get, the more successful you get, the harder it will be to say no to opportunities that come your way. But you just have to know which ones to say yes to and which ones to say no to.
Because with the clothes, because like I said, I've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
But I know, being completely honest with myself, I've not given it my 100% every day.
I can say the same about me, but
I'm definitely like aware of that.
Yeah.
I remember I decided after college not to go to university.
Yeah.
And I said I'll do this and I'll do it properly or whatever. And all it would take, I'd probably be consistent for about 3-4 weeks. All it would take was one day of not, you know, putting in that time.
Yeah.
And that's it. The dominoes falling, and I'm not working.
Yeah.
Something I've told myself recently now, because I'm getting back into it properly, and I wanted to make. Before I was obsessed with the idea of exclusivity.
Yeah.
Which I feel like at the time when we started it did change. At that time I thought I want to be exclusive.
Right.
And then I realised as it got on and on is, why would I put all this time into making clothes, designing, making the clothes myself, shooting, website, and everything, and then say only 10 people can have it?
Yeah.
That is stupid.
You're limiting yourself.
I'm limiting myself because I want to be able to walk around Bolton, let's say in a year's time, and I see maybe just one person wearing my hoodie that I don't know. Yeah. But if I limited it, I might never see somebody wearing my clothes, and I might never be what I want to be. Yeah. In the sense of, I don't want to be someone who.
That's your. It's important to understand that's your goal. Yeah. You can make it work where it's exclusive, and you know you don't want to see people walking around with the same thing, and that's absolutely fine. But your goal you've identified is you would like to see people rocking your brand and stuff.
I would like to walk around and see how people are wearing it as well. Yeah. Because even at the start, I used to make it almost pretentious that I wanted people to wear it the same way I'm wearing it. Yeah. Which, again, it's a childish way to look at it, but like I said before, as you grow up and you go old, you go through life, you just start to realise different things. That people dress different.
Yeah.
And I feel like learning all of that has made me think now I can go back into it and really put some fire into it.
Yeah.
Like I've got something coming up where a couple of my friends, we've got a run club.
A run club, yeah.
So big on community.
Yeah.
And even speaking with them and having conversations with them, I realised how much community can impact things like product-based businesses.
Yeah.
Where they simply were just a group of guys who would go running, do a 5k every week, and now it's massive. They're getting brands reaching out to them, and they're getting coffee shops around Bolton, or they did like an Oakley giveaway the other day.
Wow.
And they just they're guys my age who just started running.
Yeah.
But just because they built a community, almost like a cult-like following of people who just are like-minded and want to run.
Yeah.
They're able to,
I think there's a big lesson in that. I think in this day and age, anyway, the easiest thing to do is to create like a community.
Yeah.
That's a big thing at the moment. I think even if you don't want to create a community, let's say for example, and be like the head of a community, in your business or in your product, have a specific group or person in mind that you're tailoring your stuff for, even if it's for yourself. So like people like you, but then just know that you know people like you will be buying your stuff, or people that identify with what you identify with. With the running example, it's like we collectively come together to run. This is who we identify as, and they want something that will help them or show other people
that this
what
is
they
they're
identify
part of.
as.
Yeah.
This is what they do. It's the same for gym clothes and stuff like that.
Yeah, like a lot of brands are like that. Like I mean, the biggest we've got in Bolton is Represent. I wouldn't even say Bolton now; they're worldwide.
Yeah.
But I remember when I first discovered that they were even from Bolton. Me and my friend at the time, we were just utterly obsessed with anything fashion related. We weren't looking at the business side of things.
Yeah.
Which obviously was our downfall.
Yeah.
But we looked at the way they've structured everything, and obviously picked apart things that we liked, because we weren't exactly fans of the clothes.
Yeah.
It was just the people, and that's what they pushed me into building my personal brand.
Yeah.
It's because we realised whenever we're talking about brands, we're never talking about the brand, we're always talking about the designer, the person behind it.
Yeah.
So like Cortez, for example, we'll talk about like Clint. If we represent, we're talking about George and Michael. Like designers like Louis Vuitton, you got Pharrell Williams, we were talking about the person and not the clothes.
Right.
And you want to evoke that same feeling as somebody else.
Yeah.
Where if someone looks at Auster, for example, they're not talking about Auster, they're talking about me.
Yeah. That's
They're talking about how he's gone about it.
Yeah.
Because people, you're going to relate more to a person than a piece of clothing.
100%. Yeah.
So it makes it a lot easier to evoke those feelings in people.
Yeah. I think the name of the brand Represent says it itself.
Yeah,
like
100%.
it's about what it represents. Like any brand, any clothing, it's about what it represents. That I think that's branding, really, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Like for example, as a brand, let's say Pharrell Williams, for example, his brand, he's not going to be going out there like, let's say for example, promoting golf or alcohol or something like that. It's fashion. It's that sort of what's the word? It's the style that he's gone about, that he embodies himself, and he puts that same vibe into everything that he does. Same with like, I don't know, Kanye West or something like that. It's the same with anyone really.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think personal brands are really important. It's something that I'm looking at as well.
Yeah, because in this day and age, especially where social media is massive,
Yeah.
to the point where everyone's on it.
Yeah.
That you can't ignore it now.
Absolutely.
It's not something that you can turn the other cheek to and think, oh, I don't need it.
Absolutely.
Because if you want to, I would say in your case, it's not as essential, because yours isn't essentially like a.
I think it's still relevant.
It's relevant.
It's not essential, but it's still relevant. Like for example, properties are very good. It's a very people-based community, like sort of community.
Okay.
People learn from people. People work with people. You know, they say that that you don't sell your house to a company, you sell your house to a person. When you do decide to sell it. So yeah, I think it's one of those where people look up to authority figures in my space. So it does benefit me to have a little bit of a personal brand reputation, essentially.
Okay.
but it's not as important. I think for fashion it is.
Yeah, you have to look the part essentially. I mean, because you're not really going to buy clothes off somebody who can't dress themselves. You know what I mean? It's not
like. Well, I'll give you an example, and this goes back to changing what you're doing and ideas and stuff like that. When I was young, I think I was 18. This is when I just started college before I started doing websites.
Okay.
I started a clothing brand because I just wanted a business, and I thought, let's start a business. What can I do? I started a Shopify print-on-demand business.
Okay.
And I was just making my graphic designs or whatever, and then there would, I think it was called Printful or Printify, something like that. They would actually fulfill the order.
Okay.
I didn't get a single order,
right.
but I spent so much time on the website, on the designs and everything like that. And realistically, I'm not a fashion person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about fashion. I like fashion.
But you like what you wear, and you kind of stick to it.
I like what I wear, stick to it. I don't think I even follow any sort of fashion trends, but I like it when I see it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you can appreciate it.
I can appreciate it, but I'm not into fashion.
Okay.
So I started that business for money.
Yeah.
I didn't have a very good reason why.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wasn't obsessed with it like you are. That's why I didn't know. And then I switched to something else, and I switched to something else, and switched to something else, and then I landed on what I do, web design, helping businesses grow. Because really, that's what I'm passionate about. Yeah. I'm obsessed with helping a business take, for example, a stranger and getting them to exchange money, like for a product or a service. I'm so fascinated with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like just the psychology behind why someone would pick your brand or your product or your service and pay your price and exchange that value. I think that's really interesting. So not even just in property and what I'm doing, I work with a property mentor. Right. So we teach you how to build a property business, and then navigating the funnels, the marketing, the sales and stuff like that. For that, which is very high ticket, that's something I'm super interested in as well. So I think it does tie in with sales, that transaction of energy. Like 100%, I'm gonna 100%. Provide you with a service. Yeah, it is a transfer of energy, isn't it? When someone like let's say you've created something from your imagination, and someone's willing to give you money to get that. That's so interesting to me.
The thing that you've convinced them to spend X amount of money on this, which they might not necessarily need, because in most cases they're gonna have clothes. You know what I mean? They didn't have to go out their way.
There's other options.
There's always other options, but you've now sold them to such a degree that they have now thought that's worth my money. Yeah,
and I think it does tie into identity a lot. Like you choose the clothes that you wear to express yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
And because it shows your identity in a visual manner. Yeah. So I think that goes into a lot. It's an identity, who they want to identify with. So if you are looking to start a clothing brand or a business, you think about who you want, or the type of person that you want to identify with your brand. So if it's running, then you're making clothes for people who like running, and that's going to be all tailored to running. And I've had loads of people come to me and be like, "You're going to Facebook ads. I've got a drop, or I'm going to do drop shipping. Can you run ads for it?" And I just to entertain, I say, "Okay, well, what are you selling?" And it's just random bits and bobs from random trending products. There's nothing focused, and I just think if you think about one specific person and a problem, give them a product. There's so many other products related to that. Like for example, someone who does running, what would they need to do running? They might need a water bottle, they might need trainers, they might need a specific type of socks, they might need a specific type of, I don't know, stretching band. Do you get what I mean? Clothing. You can create a whole brand and a whole product catalogue focused on one person, and rather than get it from different places, they would rather just get it from the same place, from the brand that they identify themselves with. So I think it's really important to think about, again, tying it back to the person that you're actually serving, whether it's a product business or a service business.
Anyways, we are getting on to an hour, so the last question here is one piece of advice you'd give anybody listening right now. They don't have to be business related, just whatever you think would be valuable to somebody listening.
I think everyone needs to think about what they want and why they want it. Really break it down. Like, what do you want to achieve in life? And ask yourself, why do I want that? Question yourself. I think at every stage in life, because that's how people get lost. Like, I feel like if you don't have a direction, it's like starting the car up and not turning ways on.
Yeah.
You don't know where you're going.
Yeah.
You have no destination, so you're not going to arrive anywhere. So if you have a goal, but you don't know why you're doing it, why you want it, what the end goal is, you're never going to reach it. So I think finding out your why, and it could be anything, like I said before, it could be fame, it could be family, it could be anything, but just understand why you want to do something, and then you'll be able to break it down and do it properly. Or it might not be something you actually really want to do. Like early on, for example, I was training to be a boxer. I didn't go amateur, but I was very good at it. But then I sat myself down and decided, do I actually really want to be a boxer? Do I want to sacrifice my life to it? Because you can't play boxing, you've got to live it. It's a lifestyle. Do I actually want that? Not really, and that's okay. That's fine. And you'll have many different stages in life. Just figure out what you want to do, but break down why you really want to do it.
Aqeel, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Good catching up as well.
It's been a pleasure. So
We'll do it again.
Yeah. We'll do this when you hit your next goal. You can shout me.
Absolutely. I might have some more advice.
So yeah. Anyways, that is it for that episode.